Oh, yes. Oh, yes, my friends. Everyone say hi, YouTube. Okay, so what happened at Smash World Tour that was so controversial the whole world had to stop? Well, the whole world didn't stop. But this was a tweet from Zamba. Also, Zamba, of course, had one of the best, perhaps played the highest above his seed of any player there. 4th place in a world circuit. A 16-year-old Rob player from New York, who is now considered the best Rob in the world, I feel. Zamba tweeted out this picture because Ramses was arguing that he shouldn't have died from a certain hit on small battlefield. And everyone's like, huh, why did he die off that hit? I think it was Zamba versus Shuton, I think. Anyways, so 8:11 p.m. from Florida, he tweets out, Underdog Boost on. The launch rate was 1.0, right? There was a similar controversy which happened at Genesis with 0.9. Someone changed it. And that right there causes a big difference. A big difference in how early or how late something will kill, right? Anyways, as a result, it was found that this setting, which if you're losing, I think it's stocks and or percent. If you are behind, you get like a buff in your moves. You get even like more rage. Like the rage mechanic is built in, and I feel that that's enough. And this basically gives you even more of a comeback mechanic. It's the equivalent of you being in 8th place in Mario Kart, and they give you a blue shell. You know, it's the general balance, and if you know what you're doing, you can kind of play the cards in your own favor and do all that. Anyway, this was not only on for this match. This was on for a while. Apparently, the entirety of Losers Round 3 was played with Underdog Boost on. So, of course, Smash World Tour had to make a statement on this. This was their statement. Ritzy, thanks for the raid. Tonight it was brought to our attention from a Twitter user that Underdog Boost was unfortunately active on the stream setup. We're investigating, but is now evidence pointing to the setting being turned on immediately before Saturday's final set on VGBC 4. We believe it was done accidentally by one of the staff. It's been corrected. There was 5 sets in total that were affected. They're making contact with affected players. The affected players were Zamba, Shuton, I think Ken, anyone who loses round 3, like the qualifying in the top 8, which are very important. Like the losers, I got 9th. So 5 sets, 10 different players were affected by this, pretty sure. Or at least 9. And Meister as well. Siski, Meister. But when you agree to the tournament, you agree to the rules. And this is the big this was their big out card. And it was luckily this was in the rules. If it wasn't in the rules, they could have done some crazy stuff, even legal stuff. But from a legal standpoint, let's say you're Japanese, you spend all this money and time, you come to a tournament, the rules aren't the way they're supposed to be. This clause, Rule 8.18 in the Smash World Tour Rulebook, serves as a final backup for situations like this, so the tournament has continued as scheduled. And this is the rule. If a game was played under a misconfiguration that could have materially affected the result of the game, a player may petition the TO to have that game replayed. The final decision is at the discretion of the TO. This must be done immediately after the game in question. So basically, if no one speaks up right after the game is played, they can't really replay it, which is true. I mean, when you think about it, this tournament ended. This tournament ended like at 1 a.m. Eastern. They by no means had any time. Like when you have to replay, if they were actually going to replay the entirety of Lose Round 3, the tournament would have still been going right now. Like that's how long it would have taken. So for proper reason, they couldn't do it. But my perspective on this is, should it be on the responsibility of the TOs to ensure all their setups constantly have the right rules? Should it be on the players actually to check it themselves because of that clause, or should it be a joint effort? Or can we mod the game somehow? Can we make some configuration to make it so you can't ever affect the rules? This has been an issue that's been going on for like a long time. It's been like across many Smash games, like just been plaguing. It's a very annoying thing, and it's very easy for anyone literally to sneakily walk on there. And you know, right now I think most people check for launch rate to see if it's at 1.0. I know in Melee we always check the rules. But the Underdog Boost is such a weird rule that no one like really thinks about, that it was just weird enough that if someone saw a yes or a no there, they wouldn't have thought twice about it. So if it was done with malicious intent and it was trying to sabotage the tournament, the person was very smart, but also huge asshole, right? But if it was done by an accident, by someone hitting the settings to change the rules, hitting that to a yes or no might have also just been a mistake, and they weren't used to seeing what should be there, and thus we had this current situation. So yeah, it sucks, but the moment they saw something was wrong, the moment they thought something was up, they should have spoken up. And there's been times now where the rules were bent because neither player realized it. This happened in Ultimate, in Melee, in Smash 4, and you play out a set and the result stands because no one calls it out. One of the most famous examples is like, you know, me versus Plup, Genesis 5, Genesis 6 Grand Finals, where Plup, he took me to Pokemon Stadium twice, even though he won there. But neither of us cared or called it out because we thought it was okay. And when you think it's okay, you're making like almost a verbal agreement to play on the stage. The result plays out, and so it is. So it's almost like on the responsibility of the player. I did it too by accident. I think I took Armada at Paragon 2015 to Dreamland twice, even though I won there, and neither of us spoke up, and that was it. So the rules are there for a reason, but I think the players and the TOs do share a responsibility to make sure that happens until we figure out some way, or Nintendo gives some sort of patch. That would be a sick patch. They're like, oh, rule lock. Can you imagine you could only change the rules? Like, if you go... Imagine this, right? Imagine you go... You're playing Smash here. You click this, right? And then you click, you know, one of these. Like, let's say this one. CPU tester 3 stock 7. There's a little lock icon next to it. And the only way you can click X to edit here is if you put in a password. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't even think it would be that hard for Nintendo to even code in there. But it's a pipe dream. It's such a low priority that it wouldn't really make sense. So, you know, in that case, we are not getting a rule lock. However, one more time for everyone who was watching this tournament and everyone involved, please, 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 next time you're in a bracket, next time you're in a situation where you might, you know, you might need to double check how the settings are, because they're going to definitely affect what it is. Make sure you do it, especially with that much money on the line. And apparently, there was also a 0.9 before Professor Pro played his match, but he caught it. Now, you tell me this. A 0.9 in Melee happens to be on the main stage, and an Underdog Boost happens to be turned on for Ultimate. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I will say, if VG Bootcamp was also streaming the Genesis 4 finals when 0.9 happened, if that was the case, maybe there's an insider. Maybe there's an insider on VG Bootcamp's team who really hates how bald Gimmer is and just wants to mess with him. But it could also be a person who attended both tournaments somehow, who had access to get on stage. You know, there's some possibilities with what it might be. But all things considered, it's unfortunate. It's a super crappy situation for any tournament organizer. And let's be fair. It took a while before anyone even noticed. it wasn't as apparent. In Melee, I can feel like immediately when 0.9 is on, or 1.1. I can immediately feel it because I up throw Fox at a certain percent. I know I have to hit him right there. But in Melee, it's much more obvious. Ultimate, with rage mechanics and things being a little bit different, that makes it much more ambiguous, right? More ambiguous. And that's why Ultimate, even more important, you have to check the rules here. So yeah. Anyways, that is my thoughts on the underdog dilemma, the updog dilemma. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How should we circumvent this in the future? What should we do if it happens again? And I don't know, should players affected by it have some sort of compensation, like free entry in the future or free flight? I don't know. If I'm a TO and I have extra budget, I think that's the least I would do. It's like, it's unfortunate. It would be more of a courtesy thing. But yeah, the big takeaway here is this: it was an absolute mammoth effort for Gimmer and the VG Bootcamp team to make a Smash World Tour happen during a pandemic. Before we finish this video, I just need to get a quick clap for VGBC, because yes, the tournament wasn't perfect, but they are the only people in the history of the game to successfully run a world circuit and make it happen, let alone during a pandemic. I don't think you realize how much work that the whole team put in over and over and over and over to make it happen. And I want to appreciate that. Obviously, there's things to improve and there's things that can happen, but the fact that they were able to pull it off is still really, really huge. And I think at the peak, they had like over 100,000 viewers, because Mizkif themselves, Moist Critical, HBox, we were all streaming, and the viewership was just amazing. So Ultimate continues to be the single biggest fighting game in the world. I think by far, right? I don't think anything comes close. So, yeah. And if you are hosting Ultimate at your tournament, it will be the most entered event, most likely. It will pay the bills, and it should have a slot in your finale, I feel. Just saying. So, I don't know if combo breakers happening this year, whatever it is. Ultimate top 8s have really, really been something special this year. It's unfortunate that this one was marred by a slight controversy with Underdog Boost. Maybe the results would have been exactly the same. Maybe Shuton wins the entire tournament. Who knows? Who knows? The point is, check the rules. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Or before your knockback is scaled inadequately. Right. Thanks for watching.